I mentioned the threat of China. The level of bullying from this communist dictatorship is just amazing. It's like there's in some sort of black and white cartoon movie, twirling their moustache, cackling like, Dr. No, I don't know. They're reaching right into democracies like ours. The Jerusalem Post, a leading newspaper in Israel, has just interviewed the Foreign Minister of Taiwan, right, an independent island, democracy. He warned that Communist China was getting ready to invade Taiwan because it thinks this democratic island nation is actually China's to take. And unbelievably, the Jerusalem Post editor said as soon as that interview went online, the Chinese ambassador Rang demanded the article be killed and warned that otherwise China would in some way, do something about relations with Israel, that harm them, punish Israel itself. I mean, this is the new world order that Communist China is trying to build. I mean, you've already seen it bullying Australia. It's just incredible. And this all leads me in an indirect way to a very surprising election result. One that might actually make some people think, good heavens, One Nation isn't exactly the party I thought. There may be a lot more to it. The election result I'm talking about wasn't the federal one, in the federal election we just had, but in last month's South Australian election where the Liberals got tossed out. For the first time, One Nation won a seat there in the upper house. And the winner was Sarah Game, who's a vet and the daughter of Jewish grandparents. And she is now pushing for a new law against anti-Semitism. Sarah Game, thank you so much for joining us. Why did you join One Nation?
Thank you so much for having me. Well, I joined One Nation. Obviously, I got involved through my mum, but really it was just a wonderful opportunity to make a difference, and a much broader difference than the one I was making. My mum has been involved in the party for a number of years. She was initially running for the position here, and we started talking about politics at home, and the opportunity came up, and I really saw it as an opportunity to make a difference and contribute in a positive way.
Now, looking at you, a lot of people say you're One Nation. Do you feel that there's a stereotype that you're challenging, or that the stereotype is wrong?
I do, and I can really see how that stereotypes come about much more easily now that I'm in this position, because I can really see how it's difficult, with the media to get out what's really happening or the full context of what you're saying. And so I do think there has been a bit of a challenge to that, but I do feel that people are changing their perception, and certainly I think here people are becoming much more open-minded.
Now, tell us what you're pushing for.
Well, what happened basically is I became aware that this IHRA, International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Semitism, had been endorsed federally both by Scott Morrison and Anthony Albanese, and then put forward separately in both New South Wales and Victoria. And it hadn't been put forward here, and I really felt, our party is very much about protecting faith communities and people's personal freedoms and right to practice their beliefs in a way that is safe and free from discrimination. And so on that basis, although we have a very small Jewish community here, I felt it was important that South Australia really come into line with the federal position and the position in Victoria and New South Wales.
Well, Sarah Game, I think that's an honourable thing to be pushing for. I think it's great to see One Nation pushing for it. That'll be a challenge to some people, and all the best to you. Thank you so much for your time.